Welcome in, everyone, to another session with the Second Chances. If you happen to be catching us on YouTube, you can catch us live most Mondays. We rarely take a day off unless we absolutely need to. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time over at twitch.tv/Robbie_Landis. That link is probably in the video somewhere. And over at twitch.tv/Ascalia. Or Ascalia? Ascalia? Why did I say it that way? Ascalia.
No.
Ascalia.
Because Callie.
As well. I'd also like to thank Critical Role. We are using the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount for our setting, so thank you for creating such a amazing place for us to adventure in, and to Reliquary Records, whose music you. So with that, it's been a minute. We took last week off, and so I feel like it's been forever since we last played. But the last time we did, the Second Chances managed to descend through the ruins of Shattengrod, a pre-Calamity Age of Arcanum city, with Clay, someone that they thought was searching for his brother, a supposed thief. But when they got to the tomb of the Plague of Eyes, turned out that Clay was the thief all along. They then had to close a portal down there in the tomb and decided that since it wasn't closed, it would make for an okay place to rest for the night. But the Plague of Eyes visited them shortly after that rest, had a bit of a chat with them, and then tried to close them in the tomb, but they were able to fight their way out against a one-sided ambush for sure. But they were able to narrowly escape with all of their lives. At which point Zana had a bit of a emergency escape that she used to teleport them all to Mr. Black's tower, where they found out that Mr. Black is actually Zenithal Alabaster, the Archmage of Cultivation of the Cerberus Assembly. Some talks were had. Zenithal agreed to help Clay get out of the city. And also gave the party some special little magic gems that he says if they put inside the portals when they close them will help to allow them to study the portals and understand more about their composition and their arcane properties, which may in the future help to allow to close them better, or even lead to a way to close them without the oracles chosen. From there, everyone returned to the Flounder Pounder for some much-deserved rest, and Zana stayed at Zenithal's place. And that's where we're going to go ahead and jump in. Since we do have both of you here, I'm actually going to leave it up to you, Roz and Kieran, if you want to do the quick exchange that you had role-played previously in the Discord.
Up to you, Kieran.
Sure, why not?
All right. Then go ahead and take it away. This is the night before everyone goes to sleep.
Okay. I'm going to change the canon a little bit. I'm going to approach Roz's door, but I have 2 drinks in my hand.
Are they Lucky Kieran's?
And there's one Lucky Kieran, and then there's a New Leaf.
A new leaf. All right. Take it.
Turning over a new leaf.
Rosalind is having failed to talk to her sister that evening, is attempting to sleep. Or laying down anyway. She allows you in. Or at least calls for you to come in.
Hey! I just wanted to, I just stumble in, and I am holding out the New Leaf. I don't know if I've had you try this yet.
She glances down at the drink. The Lucky Kieran. What is the other one? What is that?
No, yeah, I want you to try this one. So, Leaf's, old group of friends, well, we were out drinking with them, and I was trying to tell the bartender how to make a Lucky Kieran, and he didn't do it right. So, this is what he could come up with. It's not too bad, but I think you'll like it more. Like much more of the sweeter,
Fair enough.
kind of taste.
She takes it and then looks at it for a moment and is like, all right, I've drank that Lucky Kieran wrong like every time, and it keeps being disgusting to me. How do I just shot or
I think so. I don't remember. I got very drunk that night, so
Did you take the Lucky Kieran or the New Leaf?
the new leaf?
Oh, okay. Let me know how you
She'll
decide to do
she
it.
she just downs it in one go.
Just chugs it.
Yep.
Okay. It's basically, I forget exactly how we had described it, but I know that they used like sort of a mint liqueur because they didn't really have what is necessary for Lucky Kieran's, because that's all like, really fancy
Yeah.
elven shit. So yeah, it's basically kind of like, imagine like a vodka, a mint liqueur, and like I think they had salt around the rim instead of like crystallized sugar, because sugar's expensive.
She kind of like twitches her nose a little bit as she drinks down what is basically just mint and vodka. I think I got my teeth cleaned with something that was a bit like that once.
Makes you feel all nice and warm inside, though.
She nods. It's very different than the Lucky Kieran. Is that what
yeah.
you came up here for?
Well, sort of. Yeah, I wanted to give you this because I just wanted to thank you for, what you did down deep in the dungeon and, taking that arrow to the neck. Remember, you probably won't talk about it, Zombie.
She like touches that wound for a second before she's just like, uh it's fine. It's far from the worst I've ever taken, but certainly not the most pleasant. Have you ever been shot with a marrow arrow before?
No,
Don't.
no.
It's terrible. Don't do that. Don't skip it if you ever have the chance.
I will keep that in mind. Yeah.
That's not why you're here, is it, Kieran?
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Rosalind, she's just gonna close the door, go over and sit on the edge of the bed and just pat the spot next to her. What's on your mind?
Um, I just wanted to say thanks, Roz. I know that, at least for me, it's all very new and scary and life-threatening all the time. And you always take it in stride, but I know that that's hard sometimes for a leader and scary. So I just wanted to thank you for that, for always, trying for us.
Well, I'll tell you a secret about that. Is it doesn't ever stop being scary. Every time it's scary, but you get used to managing it. You get used to not reacting so much to the fear and keeping your cool about you. But it takes practice and time, and I fucked up a lot of times before I got to the point where I could do that. So luckily I had some good friends around me too.
Well, in that case, then maybe I'll, be a badass fighter soon with all the mistakes I've made. No, I couldn't say that with a straight face.
I mean, Kieran, I already think you're a badass fighter. We fought an army of zombies and you jumped down off the magical hand right into the thick of them to help us close a portal. I think that's pretty badass.
Well, yeah, I guess it was, or it would have been if I don't know, if it worked.
It's always a team effort, Kieran. Every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I also wanted to ask you something else.
Sure.
I'll come sit down, pull up my hood, and then just you can see my form slowly shrink a little bit as I become my true changeling self.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem too put off by it, or doesn't really seem to react very much. She's relatively used to seeing people have a different form and be the same person. She grew up with an Eldrin.
So I just wanted to know if you'd help me with something.
Think you know I will? What's up?
Oh. I just keep thinking about what you said downstairs about, whoever I decide to be, or, whoever I am, that, you know, I'm still one of you guys, or something like that. And I appreciate
Damn it,
it.
Robbie.
Oops, sorry, I forgot that's on auto.
It just feels like right
I
now
really
that
need
I
to start
don't.
turning those off. Sorry, one sec, Kieran.
No worries.
All right, Leaf taking inspo. All right, continue, Kieran. Apologies.
Thanks.
Just, what you said about me being whoever I wanted to be, I don't know who that is, anymore. It's definitely not Kieran the card, and I don't think it's this either. So
Well.
I wanted to ask, if you could talk to Zana and see if she would stay for us just for a little longer. Because I think she'd be able to help me understand at least this version of me.
She is quiet for a moment and seems to think about it before she nods. Look, I can't say I know what you went through or anything like that, but I've never, outside of my birth parents, I've never met another Kalishtar. So growing up, I learned from an Eladrin, a Tiefling, and a Halfling, and all manner of different people taught me as I grew up. And, but, that's not the same as someone who you have a feeling has gone through the same things you have or faces some of the same physiological issues that you do. So I get it from that perspective. And I'll ask her if you want me to. But if I'm honest, Kieran, I don't think I'm the one she needs to hear that from. I mean, her and I have some things in common, or at least someone. But as important as it might be for you to get to travel with another changeling and find out a bit more about who you are and all that, I think it's just as important for her, even if she has a hard time admitting that. If you go to her and are honest about it, I think she would come help you. I don't think, as rough around the edges as she can be sometimes, I don't think she has it in you just to let you flounder. I think she would help.
What if she says no?
Then at least you know. And I learned very recently that it's better to know than not to. Painful as it can be sometimes, it's better to know.
Yeah.
And to be clear, what I said downstairs is absolutely true. No matter who you are, no matter how you present or how you decide to be, you are our friend, and you are a second chance for as long as you want to be.
Does that mean Zana's one too?
When I became an Amethyst Fortuneer, we had to swear a vow. That's the last thing you do before you become one. We swore an oath to Torres to defend it and help it until we draw our final breath. That's the oath that I took when I finished training. But here, none of us took a vow like that. We all were brought together by, I hesitate to use the word divine providence, but I don't have a better explanation for it. And we work together because our goals are in alignment, even though we all seek different things. Some people want to know who they are. Some people want to know where their siblings are. Some people are just trying to help the ones that they care about. But we all recognize that none of those things matter if the world ends. So we fight together and we continue traveling together. And whatever this, she glances towards the door, whatever this mess is sometimes, I think we've all found that we can count on each other. And to Zana, if she's willing to stand in front of a portal with zombies and monsters pouring out of it and stand with us and fight against that, then yeah, as far as I'm concerned, she's a second chance too.
Thanks, Ross.
She puts an arm around Kieran and hugs him.
You feel him kind of tense because he's still not used to being in his form. He doesn't lean into it, but he does calm down a bit.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Kieran.
And I will hop back up and I will transform.
Have you been drinking your lucky Kieran as you've been having this conversation as well?
Yes. Well, no, not during the emotional. No.
Okay.
I always set it down. But I'll grab it again. So when I go to see her, do you think, should I just, be, Kieran the car? Should I be me? Or, I have some ideas I'd love to bounce off of you.
She raises both her eyebrows at that. All right, show me what you got.
Cool. And then I do a swirl like Dracula. And out appears some dark brooding man in a trench coat. I have a hat. I just pull it down and just look over. You can just see my dark, handsome eyes. Susanna. It's a terrible, cruel world out there. But you and I, we're the opposite sides. The same coin. The same card, if you would. And look, though I don't know what the future holds, I know that with you by my side, everything will be okay.
She giggles, and I don't have a better word for it. Not the sound you would expect to come out of this 6'3" Kalishtar woman, but she giggles at that and thinks and goes, I think that has a better shot of working on Maeve, but you can certainly give it a go if you like.
I turn back into Kieran. Really now? No. She has so many other love interests. I'm not a homewrecker, okay? There's Kaylin, there's Leo, there's what's his nuts? We just left him.
Oh wait. Whoa. Are Maeve and Leo a thing?
Sometimes when they wake me up for watch, they're bloodying up by the fire, if you know what I mean.
Maeve does kind of have daddy issues.
I do not like where this is going at all.
Oh God.
She's very not okay with this.
She's like, okay then. Well, I would say your best chance, I think, is whatever form you are most comfortable in. You just need to be honest with her. Just talk to her.
You're right. I'll think on it, sleep on it, and, it'll just come to me. The muse will speak to me in my dreams, and I'll have a thought.
I absolutely believe that.
Well, enjoy your new leaf, Roz, and sweet dreams.
And to you, Kieran. Have a good night.
All right, Kieran, as you leave the room, make a con check for me. Or save.
What the fuck?
Duke's no threshold.
What are you doing, Dick? That's a 10.
Okay. So as Kieran is leaving, puts his hand on the door, starts to pull it closed, then you kind of see a bit of a ooh, but he manages to swallow it back down.
Better.
Roz is just sitting on the bed and just gives a sage thumbs up. And then she will lay back down, wince heavily as she weighs back down right on an arrow or a crossbow bolt wound, and then shift off of it and go to sleep.
All right. If unless anybody else had anything that they want to do before bed, then everyone finds rest for the night. And during that rest, at some point in all of you eventually sort of come to in a familiar place, the darkness dotted with stars.
Why are we never allowed to sleep?
You
Like,
see
have uninterrupted sleep.
each of each other as Hermia shouts out, really upset. And in the center, looking at each of you from your perspective, like she's looking down on you, you see the Oracle. You've done well, children of Exandria and Torres. You continue
Roz
to
gives a
protect
thumbs
this
up.
wet realm while not fully understanding exactly why you've been chosen or for what purpose. Thank you for your faith in the mission. Would I be able to feel remorse for not being able to give you full understanding? I would. Know, though, that every portal you close, the energy the Architect has to open more wanes. The Architect cannot be stopped in means traditionally understood by your kind. It is not a dragon that needs slaying, or a dictator that must be overthrown or convinced to lay down arms. The Architect is the force that lays at the heart of true creation. Its will is to create, and to do so, sometimes there must be destruction. And you all feel a warmth, almost a vibration, coming from your tattoos. Those of you who are able to look at it notice that the pattern seems to become more intricate. It seems to grow, like it's snaking out further like vines. Glowing almost a translucent sort of purple bluish color before it fades back to just the black grays that it was before. She falls silent if any of you have any questions.
Yeah, Roz puts her hand up almost immediately.
Looks to you.
So the Architect who's opening these portals, he has a finite amount of energy to do it with, and we're expending it every time he tries.
As a steward of the Architect, its powers are focused through me. I open the portals as it is my task to do so in this world. But as I was also created to watch over it, my design is at odds with itself, so I've given you the power to help fight it. Yes. Power is finite. 800 years ago, this realm saw the grandest change it's ever had in a long history of world-altering events. The calamity and subsequent divergence was the culmination of the last time the Architect used its powers to try and rewrite creation. The Knights of the Arcanum, as they called themselves, were able to stop it while fighting beside the other heroes and gods of the time.
The gods stood against it? The gods of this world stood against it?
Against change, only the Knights of the Arcanum knew what was really at stake. As far as the rest of Exandria knew, including the gods, it was simply the prime deities versus the betrayers. Your plights in this quest will get much more difficult and dangerous before they are over. But should you succeed, you will be aiding Exandria in more ways than just one. Just as the Knights of Arcanum helped to save Exandria from the betrayer gods and the Architect.
Each time one of these portals opens, that world is dead or dying, is that because the portal is opening, or is it because that world is dead or dying that the portal selects there?
There are an infinite amount of worlds out there. Exandria is what is known as the Prime Realm. The more of them that connect here, eventually, if a portal opens to its full extent without being closed, it will become an anchor. This allows the architect to gather more energy and continue to exert its will. If 4 anchor portals are set, the architect cannot be stopped. The portals you've seen so far have opened upon places that would bring more chaos here. The one with the living dead, the monsters from the void in the first one, or what looked to be a realm of fire last time, but it's not always the case.
Are there anchors already established?
Not yet. If an event of a
was.
large enough magnitude triggers a portal, though, it could open elsewhere. You're all the focus, currently, but it won't always be the case. That is why, like the Knights of Arcanum, it's important to make allies who know and trust you. So if a portal opens, they can contact you and help you. Should a portal go unchecked for a period of time, that will create an anchor. He looks to you, Kieran. You're muted.
You're saying a lot of stuff. Do we have to do this forever?
No. The more successful you are at closing them, eventually the architect will drain his power. At least for some time.
But this will
Like-
happen again eventually.
Not that any of you would live to see, but yes.
See, that's what I mean. Like, do you mean like in some time, like your immortal godly time, or in like our?
The last
Normal
time it happened
standards
was
of
over
time.
1,000 years ago.
Okay.
All well and good, but we've met the Plague of Eyes, and it sounds like he is against us. What is
Icarus
his-
Temelton. He was a renowned archmage in the Age of Arcanum. He was in the city of Avalon when it fell, marking the early days of the Calamity and the release of Asmodeus and the Betrayer gods. Seeing the shining example that was Avalon fall, even with all of its mages, magics, and arcane advancements, he sought more power to protect those dear to him. But meddling with fiends always yields unforeseen and complex problems. He fell to its influence and became the being you see now. The Knights of the Arcanum were able to vanquish his patron, but it yielded an unfortunate and powerful curse on Icarus. The ritual he then partook in after the Eye of Seeing was bestowed upon him granted him immortality. The Knights of the Arcanum and other powerful mages were only able to seal him in his tomb. Now that it's out, it does seem he is bent on hastening the Architect's influence on this world.
So we have him to worry about too, then.
I can sense that this burden overwhelms some of you. That even if you
Yeah.
close a portal, the realm is still in danger. But know that every time that you close a breach, the world on the other side, is safe from it happening again.
So, if my home world happened to open and we closed the portal, we would protect it?
Yes.
Cool. Not
But
to
you-
be that person, though. So he opens these portals through you. So, shouldn't we destroy you?
I am simply the conduit through which he does. I also possess no material body for you to do so. But without me, where the portals open would be a bit less unpredictable. through
help make
me
sure
and
it's
my
okay.
connection to you, I can make sure that when they do, they open in your vicinity.
Ah,
She controls where it happens.
relatively.
To an extent.
That's why it seems like we are always around when they open. It's by design. Else they would open in a place we couldn't get to fast enough.
One pops up on the other side of the continent or on a different continent, we're screwed.
Exactly.
I see.
He looks to you, Kieran.
Well, you work for this guy, and we're like, stabbing him in the back and everything. How do you know that he doesn't know what you're doing? Do you
The
know?
architect isn't a being in the sense that you would all be familiar with. Neither am I. I'm a protocol that he put in place to protect the prime realm of Exandria. My directives are currently at odds with one another, but I'm still operating according to them.
So,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
So that being said, what would make your bad directive override the other one?
I do not have a bad directive. I am simply doing as I'm supposed to.
Like, the one where we all die. Like, is there a scenario where he's like, you gotta do this, and you're like, well, I
If you
follow
were
this
all
one
to
now.
perish, then I would simply find more chosen to take your place.
Not us, like the world. Like, you're saying you have two different wolves inside, right? So what's the scenario in which the one where you open more and more portals and do the bad things to our realm? Like, what's the circumstances that would cause that wolf to beat the other one? And I look at the others. Does that metaphor make sense?
I understand it. I
yeah.
think what Kieran's trying to say is what argument would suffice for you to do as the architect designs to do, which is open portals at random to cause destruction.
Stand. You are estimating that my protocols are based on logic. But they aren't. I'm doing both of what I'm supposed to do. Open the portals so that creation can happen anew, but also protecting Exandria by allowing you to close them.
This doesn't sound like an invasion or a hostile change. This sounds more like a test. Like you're testing the people of this world, that whether they can continue to survive.
To put it into a metaphor that you may better understand, the architect is
A wolf.
a child in a sandbox. It builds what it builds through its imagination, and when it comes back the next day to build anew, it has no malice against the creation from the day before. It just wants to build something new.
This is why I hate gods.
It's a force of, gods are a little different from a pure force of nature, which is what the architect sounds like to be.
And
The
our realms
architect-
are a finite resource which can't be expanded upon, which is why it's interloping on our realms.
The architect is simply creation.
Bummer.
I'm
Oh,
still confused, but I don't like it.
Well, we are mere playthings to a being that could snap us out of existence and replace us with a new one. We are trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
You have done well so far. Continue to seek out great change and protect your world.
Does the architect know that we are preventing closing these portals?
There isn't an answer that would give you sufficient explanation. The architect knows that I am acting as I was designed.
To continue the metaphor, I think the architect doesn't care.
We're too insignificant to care.
When you knock over the castle in the sand box, you don't worry about the ants.
Query, what happens if the architect is either destroyed or sealed away?
There is not an answer that will sufficiently answer your...
No one has ever tried.
Well, if I'm only picking up bits and
Query.
pieces of the history here, but if I'm not mistaken, the gods of this world were at one point sealed away, right? That's how this worked?
What
Betrayer
are they?
gods.
The
You did.
betrayer gods were.
Yes.
I thought all of them were.
Donna
Well-
speaks up. Yes, the divergence was the prime deity sealing away the betrayer gods and themselves behind the divine gate onto a different plane. They're not on Exandria.
Interesting.
But if this all comes to fruition, then even the planes that the gods reside on converge and are remade. Correct? The Oracle nods. The gods, too, are creations of the architect.
So we're dealing
Whoa.
with the god of all gods, the god of everything.
The prime
Oh,
progenitor.
It is an
as-
apt metaphor, but still lacks scope.
You'll have to excuse us. Our fundamental limitation is a lack of scope.
She nods.
Query, what happens if you, the Oracle, is destroyed or sealed away?
There's not an answer that will sufficiently answer your question.
There's nowhere to seal you away or nothing to seal away. You just are.
She nods. She
Fun.
looks to you, Kieran.
This is getting really gloomy. So you say you don't have a physical body, but you watch over us and whatever. What's your favorite thing that we mortals do?
There is not an answer to sufficiently explain your
Oh,
question.
come on, there has to be something. Even little kids like to light ants on fire. Come on.
Jeez.
Red flag.
No.
Indeed.
Continue to seek out great change. She begins to fade. As you all return to your slumber, whatever dreams it was that you were happening. It's definitely a very restful night as you are back in actual beds. And one by one, the next morning, you each awake.
Oh. All right. Rosal, get up and head down for breakfast, feeling significantly better than she did the last night.
I'll be downstairs eating breakfast and smoking my morning cigar.
Leo, you know at some point, like, that cannot be good for you, right?
I'm 200 years old. If it hasn't killed me yet, it's not going to.
Oh, you
I-
sound like my uncle.
I don't know that that's how that works, Leo. 200, jeez. Elves.
That's elves for you.
Well, we all had a lovely evening with the Oracle. Although it's nice to get some reassurance that maybe we're not the ones actually fucking this up.
No, it certainly explains some things that at least can help assuage us as we continue forward. And more importantly, what I got from that is we need to be a little more honest to those we trust.
Yeah.
They're going to need to know how to contact us, or at least know what to do. Which means it might be helpful to alert some of the places we've been before to just be aware that we don't know where this is going to go next.
Well, we left on pretty good terms with Bisay Tile. We've got a
Mhm.
friend in the Cerberus Assembly, a couple, actually. We have a
Wouldn't
friend now
call
in the
them
Kryn dynasty.
friends, but
Well, if they help us to save the world, I'll call them whatever they want to be called.
Either way, they are allies, and that's all that matters.
Indeed.
Should
but we
we?
probably should be befriending gods of some sort. That'd probably help us immensely.
Roz puts her hand up immediately. Didn't we just establish that they are all locked behind a big gate and cannot interact with this world? Is that not the whole point?
I thought they
I
were.
don't want to go to church.
Well, I mean, they do have some power. I mean, even you have seen to that a little bit here and there. Just that they're not exactly a physical presence as they once were. At least that's how I understand it. GM?
Yeah,
I
they
don't know.
can still,
Okay.
bestow certain powers in like the way that all of you are familiar with, like, clerics or paladins.
Yeah.
In some cases there are avatars like your Uncle Levix would be. But their influence is very, very limited to what it once was when they resided on this
And I
planet.
presume especially compared to what I'm used to.
Yes.
So it's limitations. I mean, certainly it's, I don't think, a bad idea to gain favor, but I think it depends on for each of you. I have one, so I am not too concerned on it. But if there is much that we should pursue in that endeavor, we certainly can.
And then Robbie, out of character, did we talk about Redrica, Fury Scribe, as a group, or does only one person know about that right now?
I'm pretty sure that Xenatol had
Mr.
mentioned
yeah.
it in front of all of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this might become we might have to go to different planes and actually befriend different realms if this is the case.
Well, that's certainly a power above my pay grade.
But we might have the ability to do that through Redrica, Fury Scribe.
Oh yeah,
Xenatol told us last night.
boy, yeah. He mentioned that she studies other realms, other worlds, for the Solstice Academy. Oh, it's gonna be her lucky day. She gets to talk to someone from another world.
Fair. We also have the matter of reaching a place whose name I have forgotten, but we'll look up in a moment.
Zadash.
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 We also have cause to go to Zadash as well.
We do, and ultimately, well, our course doesn't change. We keep doing what we've been doing. So far, we've closed 3 portals. Keep working on it. If doing that will help protect my realm, well, I will continue to fight with you.
Yes, Kieran.
So what I'm hearing is that we need to go shopping.
Yes, and we also need to go get our reward from Miss Burnright because she owes us some magic items.
She does.
Ooh. And I was thinking, maybe if we need to make friends in all these faraway places, maybe we should get some, the little pebble thingy that
Ascending stone.
Xanax gave us.
Zana?
Yes.
Yeah, the sending stone?
No, not Zana.
Xanax?
Xenatol?
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. I was like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
was thinking the spelling of Xanax. I was confused for a sec.
Yeah. And then that way they can contact us even if we're far.
Yes, how does one make a sending stone? That would be useful. I don't know how difficult those are to make.
I could go steal
Not
one.
very difficult because I used to use them with my gang all the time.
Oh, fair
Make
enough.
make an Arcana check, Leo.
Never mind, guys. It's too hard. Roll a 2.
Okay, I stole them all the time. Okay, Robert?
There you go.
That's a 14 plus 2.
16
All right, so yeah, there are 2 types of sending stone. There's direct connections, which is what you guys have. One stone goes to one stone specifically. They're not too expensive, maybe 400 or 500 gold. For the 2 of them. You can also get a more high quality version, which is a single stone that allows you to send or to use a sending spell once a day to anyone that you know. that will be a bit more expensive. You're not sure by how much.
That's something we can at least look into. Having multiple of these sending stones wherever we go might be a little difficult.
Or one of you
prices.
mages can learn how to send a message.
That's true.
Yeah, well, it's more so that if something gets, shit goes down with another portal, they can be like, hey, leftovers, we need you.
Second chances. But yes, I suppose that is true. Or at the very least, we can alert them if we hear anything coming in that area. The point is that we're not always going to be there, right? If something is going to happen all the way in Bisaital, there's no way we're going to get there in time.
No, probably not. Although we don't know how long it takes for one of these portals to become an anchor point. Perhaps if we were quickly, we could. But you're right. Eventually, we're not going to be in the right place at the right time, which is why I think it's important that we, much as I hate to say this out loud, do what Mr. Black asked of us. Get the stones we were given thrown through the portals. If they can find a way to close it without need of our blessing, that would be ideal.
Very.
We should have asked the Oracle about them. Like if they're
We should have
shifty.
done
We
that.
could have done that, and we did not.
Yeah. Well, we can ask her later tonight, right?
Well,
If she
any of
shows
us
up.
can attempt to
Oh,
reach
that's
out to her. I was able to
Yeah.
successfully once upon a time, but in theory, anyone can.
Yeah, we should do that, just in case, because I don't trust it.
Of course.
All right. So
we should
where are
also
we off
get
to?
a map.
We should probably get a map.
Do we not have a map?
You guys
I
have
guess
a
we'll
map.
I was
You,
gonna say,
you,
we'll-
you have a map of Wildemount, at least the
Yeah.
map
Yeah.
that we use. That's the map that you guys have.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
great.
gonna say, I
Call it
hope
out.
so.
I start drawing X's where the portals have been,
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
and then I draw a chibi of Kieran in the corner.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right. Well, it seems we have a Cerberus. Anyway, we have a couple people to talk to whose names I am having issues with. Go ahead.
So we need to go talk to the Cerberus Assembly lady,
Astrid, yes.
and
Astrid?
then
Astrid.
no, it wasn't Astrid. it was the
Elena
other one.
Burnright.
Elena
Elena.
Burnright.
Sorry. Okay, I got the two mixed up in my head.
We need to go procure more horses, or I'll procure more horses.
I'm sorry about your horses.
I'll probably go talk to the Alexandria Guild to see what mission Triv went on, and probably procure someone to go pick up Ivory and Vanilla for us, because I love those horses.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
if
Nothing like
everyone's
a
okay
old
with
man's
it.
horses.
I'll go speak with Redrica Fury Scribe.
Oh, well, I think
I don't
we'll-
think we're gonna split up for all
Oh,
this.
okay.
It's just
No,
like
no,
a
I
docket
think-
of what we did.
Oh, what we gotta do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Sure thing.
no need to do that.
Okay.
Well, then let's turn in the quest, so to speak.
All right. So first place you're heading is to the Solstice Academy to speak with Elena.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, and yep, easy enough to do. At this time of day too, you're not stopped trying to come into the Shimmer Ward, and you're able to make your way there. Speaking at the desk of the Solstice Academy, it's actually the same young woman at the desk that it was last time, and she does actually recognize you. So you're able to head on through using the lift to go up to nearly the top and make your way to Elena's office.
Roz walks up to the door, takes the door handle before grinning back at the party and knocking.
Thank you. My goodness.
There's a short pause before you hear her ask you to enter. As you
Roz
do,
will
everyone
open the
go
door.
ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Right. You are all next to me. You all get +4 to whatever you roll.
Oh, Jesus
+4?
Christ, I fucking hate that so
Alright.
much.
Baby!
All right, Maeve saves.
He says wisdom.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Roz.
Roz does not. Leaf saves. Kieran does not. Leo does not. Hermia
What?
saves.
I did 21.
Oh, sorry. Yep. You saved 2 then. So that is Kieran and
Roz.
Roz that don't save. So as you all walk in, she stands up from her desk. So you've returned, and I assume, hopefully, that your quest was successful.
Well, we acquired the item.
I will hear from either of those two. And she points to Roz and Kieran.
She's gonna sigh and just hand
No
whoever
offense.
Roz
the
takes it.
bag.
Dear Maeve.
We were able to recover the Heart of Icarus, and she opens the bag and brings it out.
She gingerly kind of takes it from you, examining it a bit, and places it into a drawer, closing it. And what of the culprit?
We were unable to capture him, unfortunately.
You cannot
However,
lie.
That isn't a lie. Weren't able to capture him.
I'm going to say that it is, because had you wanted to, you could have. So if you'd like to try
We
and
have-
rephrase...
Yeah. He escaped.
Suppose you aren't as capable as I had originally hoped, but you did at least bring this back.
There's a worse problem. The tomb of the Plague of Eyes was open when we arrived, and the Plague of Eyes is not in there. He is free. But I suspect you already knew that.
She seems to be sort of mulling over some stuff in her head. You see gears definitely sort of at work. Yes, again, there have been rumors, which is why we sent for this artifact to begin with. There are some who don't entirely believe the tales. Plague of Eyes is simply old legends, a wives' tale, but in case it isn't, we must be prepared. Something like that, if what is said is true, is a danger to all of Exandria. But if it was free, I feel like perhaps we'd see more than just...
Well, we did see...
Just rumors.
I say we saw an alchemist with an eye embedded in his chest down in the sewers when we were first here.
I remember reading about that, yes.
And we saw a great deal of Durgar down in the Underdeep, or the Underdark rather, that also had similar eyes in their chest. Also, the Plague of Eyes spoke to us, so that was fun.
Spoke to you in what way?
It appeared before us, not physically, just in our minds.
And what was that like?
Unpleasant. It had a large eyeball throat, or eyeball in its throat. It told us that we would fail in our quest.
This is the one from the Oracle.
Yes. A portal opened while we were down there.
Did you get anything else from it? Not
From the
just
Plague of
words,
Eyes?
not just what it told you, but just a sense of what its plans are besides your failure?
To create chaos.
It is looking to open more of these portals.
Which happens through change, correct?
Places of great change.
Yes, that would be a bit of a problem. It's just out attacking or destroying, at least we would know where to go to combat it. But if it's acting more incognito, it would be more difficult. Correct, Kieran.
Oh. Well, I do believe we were promised a reward for the return of the Heart of Icarus.
Yes. Yes. So in that regards, you have three choices. I could, of course, just give you what adventurers like you covet most, which is gold. I believe 10,000 would suffice if that was the case. I do have access to an plethora, and armory worth of magic items, if there's anything in particular that any of you are looking for, weapons, armor, let me know. I can see what we find. 3 of them. Probably be more than enough for the task at hand. Or, I also have information on possible arms and artifacts that may be more beneficial to you in the long run, akin to Lady Astoria's sword.
I gather if we get this information, the place that is holding these things will not just hand them to us.
Probably not.
Nah,
If it was that easy, we'd already have them in our possessions.
Indeed.
Maybe go like half and half. Like maybe information about one artifact and then like 8 grand.
Make your ask.
We need better weapons and armor to continue closing these portals. They're getting tougher.
I agree.
I need something magical because I can't keep on trying to stab these
Yes.
things without
Same.
something like that.
Yes, agreed. Those without magic weapons are definitely in need of them, which I think is the 2 of you at this point.
Kieran, make a persuasion check for me.
Nice. 26.
So it seems magic items then is what you're going for.
Yes.
So Leo
So, you know,
is in need of magical daggers,
A sword, please.
sword for Roslyn, and another weapon, armaments perhaps.
I wouldn't be opposed to a gift.
I
Oh, okay, go ahead.
also have things like rings, necklace, cloaks, amulets of protections. I have. Let me see here. And she goes over and opens
Okay.
up like a small sort of cabinet above one of the bookshelves.
I would not mind an amulet protection.
I have
tell
a
you what.
stray pearl of power in here, a ring of spell storing, if that's something that might be of use, medallion of thoughts, and just takes out a small this bottle that seems to just be like cloudy and dark, and an ever smoking bottle if that's of use. It's more of a party favor than anything else for myself.
Oh,
I want to be harder to hit.
Me too, but I'll wait.
Well, then I would recommend perhaps a ring, necklace, cloak of protection, or what kind of armor do you have right now, Hermia?
Hold on. A shade.
You know,
Er,
Hermia,
Damn.
make a persuasion check for me.
Yeah, okay. X. Uh, persuasion. Where is it? 18 plus 8.
It may take me a day to get it, but I do have a friend who has, let's see if I can talk them into parting with it, a displacer cloak. It mimics the abilities of a displacer beast and sometimes makes it harder to hit you so long as you don't get hit. If that would be of interest.
Yeah.
All right. So, how about this then? The displacer cloak, the sword, the daggers, and a ring of protection for Kieran and Maeve, and we have something to trade to even out the bargain.
well,
So sorry, you
What's
want
this?
a dagger, a sword, the cloak,
Mhm.
and a ring of protection.
2 rings of protection, one from Kieran, one from Maeve, and we have something to trade to even it out.
What is that?
What is it?
Sorry, Kieran, did you have something?
what's this medallion of thoughts you mentioned? What's that?
It allows you to cast detect thoughts and peer into the mind of
Mm.
individuals.
Oh my goodness.
Roz
That's
sees the look on Kieran's
perfect.
face. All right, scrap one of the rings of protection. We'll take the medallion of thoughts. She goes into the bag and takes out one of the 3 glowing stones that we got in the power room of the facility.
Doesn't
Wait,
seem
what were those?
phased by it. Do you hand it towards her though?
I'll put it on the desk. One of the 3.
Kind of sits up a bit straighter now and reaches out and takes it, and you watch as she begins to trace sort of sigils around it in the air as she has something on. Are you aware of what it is this does, the value that it holds?
No.
It's not worth what you're asking for. I was going to offer some information on a possible vestige in addition, if you would like me to keep that to myself and give you the other 2. Make a persuasion check, Roz, at disadvantage since there's been a few of them.
All right. I'll give it a go. I'll spend an inspo, make it true.
Sure.
21.
Keep the rock, and she slides it back towards you.
Puts it back in bag.
So you would like these 5 magic items and nothing more?
These are things that will help us to continue closing portals. I presume if we keep closing portals, we keep making friends, maybe we get some cool stuff down the line.
And if you need help, we're always there.
Oh, I assumed as much. She goes back over to the cabinet and grabs a medallion and a ring. She tosses the medallion to you, Kieran. Taking a look at it, it's kind of like a gold medal, and it has arcane runes that you don't entirely recognize kind of etched all around the edge of it.
Roomkeeper eyes.
And then it's not a language. It's just like arcane runes. And then in the center of it, it has what looks to be, it's not exactly the symbol of Ayun, the knowing mistress, but it does have some striking similarities to it. Be like a woman with a book out in front of her, and sort of like little squiggly eyes or squiggly lines and stuff like that, sort of coming out of the head. That is in D&D Beyond. If you'd like to add it to your character, I will drop the link into Roll20. Maeve, she puts a ring on the desk for you, silver band with sort of like a green sphere on the top of it, ring of protection.
Okay, I'll take that.
You'll be able to find that on D&D Beyond as well. As for the sword, the daggers, and hopefully the cloak as well, I will have those delivered to, where is it that you're staying?
Flounder Pounder.
I will have them delivered later today then.
Thank you.
Would you prefer just regular augmented weapons or something with an elemental affinity?
Roz glances over at Leo.
Which one's better? I've never used.
So it just depends on what you're
magical
looking
weapons.
for. Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. They technically both count as magical weapons. You'll be able to overcome things that have resistance to non-magical stuff. The main difference is, do you want 1d6 and elemental damage on it, or do you want the +1 to attack and damage?
Do the elemental damage.
I'll take the straight augment to it.
All right. Is fire fine, Leo?
Whatever works.
Very well.
We're an agreeable bunch.
Well, thank you once again for your hard work. I'm glad to see that you are all unharmed, although it is a bit unfortunate that this thief was able to escape. I'll be in contact should I need anything else, and should you require anything that doesn't have a monetary value to it, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll see if there's any way that I can help.
There's one small thing, actually. Could you point us in the direction of Redrick Fury Scribe?
how do you know Redrica?
I heard that she studies different worlds.
She does. She's also a very reclusive person.
I think she may have some interest in talking to me.
Oh, I don't doubt it. In fact, I would have sent you her way myself with a reminder, but where was it that you heard the name? There's not many that know of her work.
She goes like this.
I will keep that in mind then. The floor above the bottom. She's in the far back. You'll see her name above her office.
Rosalind bows politely.
Thank you.
Oh. There's nothing else? Oh,
that I'm aware of.
actually, one more thing. I suppose, since she's not here, I could inform you on her behalf. But Astrid is, of course, not all that pleased with you. But her agent Vixen has reestablished contact. No harm, no foul.
Well, I am glad it worked out in the end.
But it means now that you are all mine, I don't think that Astrid will be reaching out to you for anything in particular. So when I do reach out, please make haste to respond.
Understood.
We will do our best.
Have a lovely day, Miss Burnright. And Roz will turn to go.
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Gonna make my way
Ah,
down
you're
to.
pretty.
What? Oh,
Roz looks
you.
at Kieran like.
Kieran,
Kieran.
no.
Whisper.
I know. That doesn't mean you have to speak.
Let's get out.
All right, so all of you leave, and I assume you want to head down to look for Redrica then?
Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So you float on down to the second floor, and the majority of what you see here looks to be classrooms, essentially. But you do eventually come to the end, and you see a sign on the door that says experimentation labs, warrants for like authorized personnel only, essentially. And then you see on there as well Professor Badalamenti and Professor Fury Scribe.
Looks to the
You
party.
should know those names.
I
Roz.
should.
Yes,
I don't know
you
if
should.
Raz ever met either of them. I think that Evelyn came in after that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't
I
the
mean, as
Fortunaires
Callie-
talk about it?
Probably not. No, not necessarily.
Who were they?
They were NPCs from the Braveborn Academy, but I don't think that anyone would have went out of their way to talk to Raz about them.
I think the only thing I heard about Redrica was that Promi stalked her for a while, and no, they don't talk too much about Promi anymore.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. So look to the party, nod and knock.
Mm-hmm.
No answer.
Roz winces. There's a sign on the door you see that says no entry.
Except for authorized personnel. Yep.
Are we authorized personnel?
Knock louder.
Say so.
She
I'm gonna
pounds
try.
on the door.
No answer.
I'm gonna put my
Maybe
ear.
she's like pretending like she's not there because she thinks like if she waits long enough, like we'll think she's not there and we'll leave.
That sounds like
I-
the voice of experience, Hermia.
I'd like to put my ear on the door.
Okay, make a perception check.
While she's I guess like not while she's doing it, but Hermia's gonna say very loudly. So I guess you're just not gonna be able to talk about how you came from another world, Roz. Like a whole nother world. Different
Maeve,
from this one.
Not a bad idea.
as you put your ear up against the door, you can't hear anything from the other side, but there is an odd vibration that you're kind of picking up from the other side. And Hermia, as you say that very loud, someone from further down the hall back the other way, you see like this little, not little, but this elven young lady who just kind of looks up from a book and goes, "Shh."
Roz calls down the hallway. Hey, is Redrica here?
I don't know. Quiet. People are in class.
The classrooms were empty.
No, they're not empty. Their doors are closed, so you couldn't see inside them.
Got it.
Anyway,
Roz
there's-
will. Yeah, she'll open the door.
Okay.
Opening the door on the other side, about 5 feet in, it's sort of like a small hallway, and then 5 feet in, there is a swirling mass of sort of purple and blue energy. You see a portal.
I
before you.
was about to warn you that there was likely an experiment behind the door.
Does this look like the portals that we close usually?
No.
No.
Should we touch it?
No.
Oh.
I kind of
Please.
want to touch
But
it.
we can close portals.
Let's
It's literally our whole thing.
not
Yeah.
touch anything that is used
Touch
for
it,
experiments. Please.
Roz
I
closes
trust
the
it.
door.
No.
Before that happens, Leaf is going to take one of its copper pieces that it has and is going to flick it into the portal.
All right. So as Roz is closing, you see Leaf just flick a copper piece through, and
Oh,
it
we're about to
vanishes into the
destroy
portal as the door closes.
Roz looks to Leaf like, what the hell?
I was going to
wanna
say that
touch
I
it.
heard a buzzing sound that's reminded me of certain experiments, but there it was, I suppose.
Discovery
touch it?
requires experimentation.
Yes.
That I suppose that is true.
It's
Leaf.
true. I just
The
not
door
sure.
swings open suddenly, and you see standing before you a fire genasi. Short, sort of spiky, fiery hair, in the robes of what you've seen a few of like the faculty members around here in as well. And she opens it up, copper piece in hand, holding it basically right up to your face, Roz. Did someone lose something?
Roz takes the copper piece.
Mia points to Leaf.
Yes, we did. Apologies. Are you Professor Fury Scribe?
I am. Can I help you?
Well,
Possibly.
possibly. And we know that you've been studying
He's
about.
from another world. Do you want to hear about it?
Roz just looks over like,
Her
Makes me
eyes
sigh.
kind of narrow slightly as she looks amongst you. Who sent you?
Nobody.
Xenotol.
He didn't send us. He just mentioned her. We came because Roz wanted to talk to you.
Of the Cerberus Assembly?
Yes.
yeah.
Well, he told us
He-
of you because he thought you could be of use to us.
Or in this
Interesting
case, that I might
friends
be able
you
to-
have. And she turns and walks back in the portal, leaving the door open behind her. And she just
Okay.
basically, whoop, just right through it.
Kieran runs. Kieran runs.
Roz shrugs and follows. She's been through a portal before.
No,
Alright.
wolf goes.
And walking through it is the sensation isn't anything that what you would have expected. It's honestly not much different than just sort of leaving a house through a door out into sort of like a windy, outdoors, sort of a slight gust of air, and then within a split second you are within another room, a large lab, one that would not have been able to fit at the end of this hall here, seeing how big the towers outside were. What immediately grabs your attention is in the center of this massive room is this apparatus, this large model. Everyone can go ahead and make either a Arcana or a history check. Let me know what it is that you make in the when you type it in the.
I
in the
presume
chat there
I have to
somewhere.
make Arcana.
No, history for you is fine as well. If you'd like to.
And
If you'd like to.
can I use Elroy?
If you want to pop them on real
Or
quick and do
Arcana?
it, sure.
Question: when we went through that portal, did it feel like the portal I fell through?
No,
It
this was
similar?
this was literally just like going like from one room to another and having
Yeah.
it just be like imagine like stepping into someplace with air conditioning.
Right.
Like, it was just like this like, okay, I know I'm in another place, but other than that, there was no other sort of external.
Like when you go into like a
feelings.
large building and it's got like the sliding glass doors and it always
Yep,
blows air out.
pretty much.
Got it. I don't have Arcana or History, so I won't roll.
Kieran and Leo, you don't know this, but Elroy sort of clues you into it. Kieran, you've actually had talks about this with Gil before, but you recognize this giant model is a model of the planes of creation, essentially. The prime material plane is at the center. Places like the Nine Hells, the Abyss, Elysium, Limbo. The elemental planes are basically sort of all around it. And it's this massive, giant sort of 3D sculpture, essentially, with all different sorts of types. I mean, looking at them, you don't know what they are, but made of different metals. It's like when you see displays of like our solar system or like the universe, essentially.
Cool.
And there are a few other, a few other people in here as well. Some at desks, some at boards with complicated equations that you could begin to understand on them. And you also see a small elderly gnome that's kind of going around sort of barking orders at people, and Redrica just ahead of you, walking further in and over and sits down at a desk. All right, well, what is it that you need? As much time as I can spare is yours, so talk until I get bored. The Cerberus Assembly be damned.
Okay.
You can start, Roz.
Hi, my name's Roz, and I'm from a different plane or a different realm. I fell through a portal and wound up here. I did not know the name of this place or recognize a single landmark. But some of the people here are the same as in my world, but different. They don't know me. They don't recognize me. They're just different versions of themselves.
She's writing stuff down. You're not sure if it has anything to do with what you're saying
Yeah.
or not, but kind of as you're talking, she kind of lets out an exasperated sigh and like sort of pinches the bridge of her nose. If Zenithal sent you to me, he must believe that what you're saying is true. So, all right, that's interesting. It's not necessarily the first claim to something like this that's happened, but supports the multiversal theory. Do you know how you got here? Did the portal open up randomly? Were you messing with magics beyond your means?
No, I was summoned here, as it turns out. A divine being of some sort. I guess not divine being, a agent of change. Opened a portal beneath my feet, and I fell through into a cave here. At the same time, I met all of them. They were all there as well.
We saw it happen.
She's considering.
Mm-hmm.
And why did he send you here in particular? Again, it doesn't necessarily help with the work that we are attempting to do here.
Because this is the only place I've heard of that has even considered such a possibility, and I'd like to go home at some point.
Ah, there it is.
There's that, but I kind of show her my tattoo and say, we're also trying to close portals to other realms throughout the realm.
That's true. We've done that 3 times now.
Evil beings come out of it. They are not fun portals like this one.
Yeah.
She just kind of like looks from each of you to another and just seems very annoyed.
Where would you like? We can start somewhere else. Where that's just the summary.
All right,
of it.
all right. All right. You want to go home. You would need a tuning fork to your plane of existence and someone who can plane shift. What else?
A plane shift. Okay. Who would that
Zenithal
be?
sent you here. Does Professor Burnwhite know that you're here?
Yes, we just
Yeah.
spoke with her. She told us where you are.
And she is up to speed on all of
Yeah,
this.
she
and
Yes.
just kind of like
She's zone of truth
motions
to us.
to all of you.
That is correct.
Do you have anything on you from home?
She points to her wolf's head pauldron. I got this from home.
Holds her hand out.
Roz seems to think about that for a moment before hesitantly unclasping it. As she pulls the wolf's head pauldron away, you can all see a very ugly, very jagged-looking scar underneath where the pauldron sat as she hands it over.
All right, she takes it and drops it into a drawer. I can turn that into a tuning fork, but it's going to take me some time. I suppose since you are apparently friends with 2 members of the Cerberus Assembly, I can do it free of charge, but it's going to take time. I have other work that needs tending to besides this. Was there anything else?
You said that we would need a plane shifter. Who plane shifts? Who knows such magics?
Powerful mages. It is beyond my capabilities, the Cerberus Assembly. Most of them could do it or could point you towards someone perhaps who could. But it's a powerful and dangerous spell. And obviously if you went there, getting back would be a whole nother matter as well.
But you're going to turn that into a tuning fork. Is it going to be destroyed in the process of that?
Not going to be a wolf's head pauldron anymore, if that's what you mean.
Maybe you should give her another item if you are concerned about that one.
She nods. She reaches into her top, pulls out a necklace with a blue stone on it, and hands that over instead.
She rolls her eyes, reaches down, and returns the pauldron and takes the necklace and kind of looks at it for a moment. I suppose I can make use of this somehow, and drops that into the desk.
She reattaches her pauldron.
Kieran, it's so big. Like, just looking at it, you're not even sure what from it you would steal.
Is there? I don't know. Would any knowledge of my home be helpful to you? You said multiversal theory. I presume this isn't just like go into the abyss or go into the celestial plane.
Correct. She sort of motions up. This is a diagram of the realms as we know them. The idea or the theory that there are other versions of them out there has existed. The Feywild and the Shadowfell, for example, are mirrored versions of the Primaterial plane. They more closely resemble these lands than if you were to go to the Hells, the Abyss, to Limbo, completely different places. So it has been theorized that there are other realms or timelines, if you will, that are similar but not connected to us. We are trying to create a universal tuning fork here, not to say to go to places such as what you want to go to, but at least to the realms, she motions atop of her again, could all be traveled to using one tuning fork instead of needing one per. So, yes, congratulations. You are a find, but you're not a find that I am interested in at the moment. So I will do what I can for you when I can.
Oh, okay.
Is there something we can do for you since you're kind of frustrated right
You
now?
could
and I kind of feel
leave.
bad. Other than leaving.
Nope.
Okay.
You use the medallion? Okay.
Yeah.
Double check here exactly
Kieran
how
just
detect
dies.
thoughts
How
works.
often is that? How often can you use that?
It has 3 charges. While wearing it, you can expend 1 charge to cast Detect Thoughts, and it recharges 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. Well, just for the fun of it, we'll say that you were able to attune to it in time. It does require attunement, so make sure that you have that equipped.
Shit.
DC save 13. Hold on, I actually have a character sheet for Redrica from the last campaign somewhere.
Nice.
Detect Thoughts. I think she only has to save, though, if you try to dig deeper.
I think you get the surface level
Oh,
thoughts
yes,
for free.
yes. So, the surface thoughts, you did not need to use the medallion for. She is annoyed. She is not angry necessarily with you, but she's definitely very focused. She was focused on something, and you've interrupted, and she'd like to get back to that. So
Yeah, did she at all? Do I get any sense of like what it was when Leo was like, "What can we help you with?" Maybe she thought about it.
yeah, get out.
Can I dig
There,
deeper?
there is like a tinge of like excitement and curiosity at the idea that like, hey, here's someone from a potential different world, but she's definitely more solely focused and invested in her work.
Can I dig deeper?
2.
Oh boy.
Wait, did they know afterwards? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think that's only like charm,
That
like
is a
some of the
wisdom or an intelligence.
I think
Got
it's
that I do not remember.
Wisdom saving throw.
I know they
You
know for sure if they succeed
if
on
they
it. I'm not sure.
succeed, yes.
Okay, so if they
But-
succeed, they'll know. So I guess use that to your.
Oh wait, hold on. So yeah, you initially blah 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 blah. If you probe deeper,
They might know.
I think if it succeeds, or if they succeed, okay. So either way, the target
Either
knows
way,
you're
they
probing
knows.
it's fine,
Yeah.
unless you shift your attention to the creature's
Oh.
thought. So I think when it ends, I think they know.
Okay, so it's like the charm effects. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
why
So
not?
yeah. So
Kieran doesn't know.
you push a little bit deeper, and it just kind of confirms, more of it. She was in the midst of sort of poring over some, important data. That was interrupted. You can tell just from some of her thoughts that she just tends to be a very abrasive and fiery person. Haha, but yeah, she's just looking to try to get you out of here as quickly as she can before other people kind of start to notice. Specifically, her attention seems to be going to the gnome, who is actually the one in charge, and you kind of like glance over and notice that he's like kind of taken notice and also looks a bit annoyed.
I think
What
we've
is she working on though?
overstayed
And you are
our welcome.
suddenly pushed out as she puts her hand to her head. Your time here is over. Goodbye.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
She turns to leave.
Yep.
She goes. All right.
Well,
As we get back, it's like, well, that was a bit of a bust.
not busty yet. We have more answers than we did before. For you, at least.
Yeah, theoretically, which is good. Does raise questions of how I was actually brought here.
Well, I mean, the Oracle seems to be a being beyond being. Who knows what sort of... I mean, a
She
being like
coulda
that
just
that's...
open a portal like she does with everything else, or it does. I don't know if it has a gender or not.
Indeed. All right, where to next?
Query, Roz, if you are able to return to your plane, would you do so?
Not until after we've done what we need to do here. I have no intention of going home to my world and have it be damned.
That if you... Our roles with the Oracle could last the rest of your life.
She gives you a look that says that is a thought that has occurred to her recently. But she nods. I swore an oath to defend Vano Torres to my dying breath. And if that dying breath must be had on Exandria rather than my home, then so be it.
And if we get a tuning fork to your world, we bring a tuning fork from our world, we can come back.
And then you can visit.
That, she kind of smiles, that would be ideal.
Oh, what's it mean, Mira?
You could meet Mira, that is true.
Oh, I would love to. Oh, well, actually, that might be a little, weird if it's on the Sonar crew,
I don't know what to do with that.
Well,
Yeah, that's a
Perhaps.
thinker, huh?
mm,
You guys can share, right? And I wink.
Gross.
Roz
Uh,
glares at you.
Well, let's not let's not start an argument.
Indeed. But no, Leaf, to your question. I am here to do this with you all. And whether I have a way home tomorrow or in 5 years or never, that is what I'm here for.
Leaf nods. So, this is your home now.
No. My home is a small, medium-sized house in Vano. And I will, I hope, go back to it one day. But I am your ally, and I am here to help.
Leaf nods.
All right, where to next?
The Adriana Guild.
Right. It's about your
Triv's
Trish.
Guild.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you know where the Adriana Guild was, or at least particularly one of their offices. So the Adriana Guild, which Roz, not sure if we've actually talked about this yet or not, but the Adrian Guild is actually the main thieves guild in Vano that your Aunt Des worked for, and that her sister Adriana led. Here, though, in Exandria, it's known as the Adrian Adventurers Guild, and it's not a thieves guild. It's just a very well-known guild that essentially takes contracts and contracts out adventurers or groups of adventurers to do them.
Got it.
For Leo, Triv kind of did a little bit of both. She worked for the Adrian Guild. She also had connections to thieves guilds as well. But obviously the biggest thieves guild, at least in Rex and Trim, is the Myriad, and she was essentially trying to infiltrate sects of the Myriad on behalf of the Adrian's Guild to get like information and stuff like that. You're not sure exactly what her job was when she left for Zadash. Last time we talked to her, she just said she was looking into a missing persons case. So, you are able to travel out of the Shimmer Ward and back down to... back over near the Tangles and find one of the offices of the Adrian Guild there that Riv works out of. It's part of this large collection of sort of buildings. It looks like they were maybe two buildings at one point, but were somehow sort of joined together, very sort of like mixed up and sort of mishmashed. That's the word that I was looking for. Mishmashed. In fact, one of the bottom floors on like the left side seems to be some sort of like restaurant or like a sort of sandwich to go place. And then you see what looks to be sort of like a community sort of bulletin board with just a bunch of stuff kind of pinned all over it next to a large sign that says Adrian Adventurers Guild with a symbol that seems to be a depiction of like a compass pointing north to a star.
Is that the same symbol that the Adriana Guild uses?
No, because the Adriana Guild is a secret thieves guild and they don't want people to know about them. So as far as you know, they don't have a symbol.
Fair enough.
You've basically only heard like stories of it since
from Des, I assume.
Since you weren't a thief yourself or a rogue yourself. But heading inside, it's definitely like you get like cramped PI, like private investigator office sort of vibes. There's like a bit of like sort of like a waiting area. Nobody seems to be in here, currently. There's a sort of muscular female orc sitting behind a desk. As you kind of all walk in, and then there's a few doors that go back further into sort of like some offices. So as you enter, she looks up and goes, I got a bit of a group here for you. Is there something we could help you? Oh, Wood Smile, right? It's been a while since we've seen you in here. I help you and your friends with anything?
Well, I have two things. First off, I'm seeing if Triv ever contacted you guys during her last trip? Because my sister's
No,
kind of getting worried.
She's she's still MIA as far as we're aware. I haven't talked to Helesna in a week or so. She said that you were looking into it apparently.
I got sidetracked with another job with the servers assembly, so kind of looking into it now. So
I'm sorry, you're working for the assembly now?
yeah, sort of.
It's a bit of a step up from your normal stuff.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's just more death and worry.
Yeah, it's not something that I think that I would probably take on, but I'm sure it pays good, so you do you.
So could I possibly get the location of where Triv was last, that you contacted her last? And then the second thing is I need like some errand boy to go pick up some horses from where were we at last week?
Rosa.
Eurosa, and bring them back to Rexentrum for me.
Make a persuasion check for me.
19 plus 8.
Yeah, what the
I'm
hell?
paying for
God,
the
jeez.
horses
No,
to come back.
the horse thing isn't a problem. Obviously, yes, we can put something out to send someone for your stupid horses. It's the Triv stuff. Obviously, that's confidential things, but
I know, but we'll keep it under.
Yes, no, fine. Yes, all right. Eurosa, bring 2 horses back. 20 gold, and I can find some low-grade adventurers to go do that for you.
I throw them 25 gold and then write down Ivory and
Yep,
Vanilla.
you write down
in
the information, where it's at, what they look like, stuff like that.
The kind of food they need, how many pets they require.
Yeah.
Important stuff.
Yeah, she kind of takes that. You see her writing some stuff down. She puts a sort of folder over the thing. So as for the Triv stuff, give me a minute, and she stands up and goes back through one of the doors.
What smile?
Yeah, that's my last name.
I didn't know that.
Kieran literally just thought your name was Leo End.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure how many of us have shared our last names.
It's like share one name.
I don't usually go
Oh,
by the longer
ironic,
name
isn't it?
because it takes a long time for people to write down. Leo's just 3 letters.
But is it like a joke because like you should smile or you would smile because you don't?
No, it's just a prominent wood elf name.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's the Johnson of Wood Elves. So she comes back out a few moments later. Apparently I actually don't have a whole lot on this. She went to Zadash for a missing persons case is all that I know. She was actually lent out to the gentleman, which Leo, you would recognize that. That is a prominent figure within the Zadash myriad. It's a section of the myriad, and is rumored to be. You don't know necessarily anything about him. You just know that there's someone in Zadash who, controls from the shadows, sort of thing, and they go by the name of the gentleman.
Okay. Well, I guess we're off to Zadash then.
All right. Well, tell your sister that I said hi. It's been, a minute since I saw her, so hopefully she's not too worried. Or you got a new place? That's cool. Makes sense. You're working for the assembly, so I guess that, all right. Be safe.
Sorry. Keep Elzana safe for me, I guess. Does that cost extra gold?
If you want me to go put someone on it, yeah, that we have to pay them, so it's gonna cost.
How much is it?
How long do you want them to watch it for? I mean, it's not gonna be too expensive. I can just,
I mean,
you
just
really need
check
a
on
real
her.
Full-fledged adventurer or whatever. So
Just let me know if something goes down. Send a message to Jeff over at Flounder Pounder. I'll just once a week check in on her for me.
So you're gonna be in the city?
Once in a while, but this new job's gonna have me going all around the world, so.
All right, so you want me to check on her once a week, and then send a message to the Flounder Pounder guy?
Yep.
All right. You know what? 10 gold up front, and then depending on how long you're gone, you can pay the rest when you get back, depending on how long it takes.
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
God, we're gonna
All
rack
right.
up debt.
You want me to do it today, or are you gonna do it before you leave?
I'll do it today.
All
I'll do
right,
it today.
all right,
Start
all
next week.
All right, sorry.
Start
All right,
next
that's
week.
fine. All right, I got it. Yep, no problem. No problem. She writes it down and
My
puts it over in like a pile on the side with a bunch of other stuff. All right, it's good seeing you again.
Roz is sitting here like, I feel strangely at home here. This is familiar.
All right.
goodness, things do not happen quickly around here. All right. Well, I suppose if we have nothing else, I can acquire some supplies and we'll just see a new horse and carriage and we can be on our way to Sadash, or was there something else we're missing?
We just need
We
to go
gotta
pick up our
wait.
weapons from the
Actually,
Flounder Pounder when those are delivered, so we'll probably have to leave in the morning, I'm guessing.
Ah, very well. That's right.
So we need those to be delivered first, but we'll go in the morning.
Very well. Then we will acquire our new horses that I am sure, Leo, you will be able to also learn to love.
Oh, one more thing. Was there any contact, like a sending stone that you gave Trev to contact back to base?
No, that's a little above our means. That's magical stuff. Probably something that, working with the Cerberus Assembly, they just hand out like candy. But no.
But you guys are dealing with the Myriad with this.
Yeah, so, you just hope that if you send a pigeon, it makes its way here and doesn't get intercepted in between.
A pigeon?
Need to look
Birds.
into getting this
Birds.
place upgraded.
Message birds.
Sometimes you can train birds to send messages across long distances.
Kind of like those paper magic ones that we got that one time,
Yes.
but real.
Aren't they called tweets?
God damn it.
I quit. I'm done.
Goodbye.
Kieran, take 5 psychic damage.
I'll take it.
Damn it.
All right, so where's everybody? Maeve wants to go and pick up some supplies. What's
I'll
everybody
go
want to do?
procure more horses.
All right, you're looking to get another cart and 2 horses?
Yep, and buy them outright like I did last time.
See if you can get a
Alright.
chocolate and caramel this time.
That would be ideal. Maeve, do you mind if I come with you? I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
I think I paid 150 gold last time.
I believe you did as well. Yep, there's what's going to cost you for the wagon and 2 horses.
I can take it out of the. Well, actually, anybody just take it out of the party
Or
loot.
loot, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure.
That's
We've
what it's
got
there
like
for.
we've got like a couple thousand in there. We're good.
What?
All right, so I just went to a horse name generator to generate some names. So the first 2 names that you're getting Indigo, and I kid you not, Kara.
Indigo and Kara. Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so one of them is sort of like all brown, like sort of like a caramel color, an Arabian, and that's Indigo. And Kara, all black with some white across her back and down like the left side of the sort of
geez.
hindquarters with some speckled blacks on it. She's an
She also has
an Appaloosa.
She also has a helmet with 2 large spikes that come out the side. It's very edgy.
Yeah, that's gonna cost us extra.
Kara is my ex's name. All right, I'll tell you what. Just call it Celtic. The second one is Celtic. Indigo and
There we
Celtic.
go.
I like that.
Indigo and Celtic. I dig it.
Celtic's a good name.
All right, so yep, you are. Let's hold the fuck out of my horse now. Yes.
Yes.
If you want to be.
So yeah, you're able to pick those up. Maeve and Roz, if you're just going to get supplies, just kind of let me know what it is that you're looking for, and I'll let you know, how much it costs.
She has something she wants to ask Maeve. So.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So after we have walked a little ways away, we're continuing to walk towards a shop, I assume. You're like, can I ask you something kind of private, or personal, I guess?
For sure. What's wrong?
Please forgive me if I say something incorrect or offensive. The Pallet Elves, you all worship the Moonweaver, right?
Yes, most of us. She is the main goddess. There are a few who have taken to being druids who worship the goddess that I can't remember, but is the goddess that Leaf worships.
Melora.
Melora.
I would also say too that Coralon, the Archheart, who's goddess that kind of looks over, is thought to be the one to birth arcane, the magic, and the Fey Veil, the Fey Wild. There's also another one, and obviously, again, Sehanine is like the main one, but there's sort of other ones too that obviously still have prominence within Pallet Elf culture. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'll explain this to you, but the Moonweaver is, I suppose you could say, the primary one, given her direct influence onto our people.
Why?
Why? Well, according to my father, it is because there was a time when we had simply been in the Grove worship. This is many, many centuries ago, and the Crawling King had attempted to wipe out my people, and so she saved us by placing us underground.
She placed you underground to keep you from being killed?
Yes, that's how it goes. After that, from what I understand, she assisted in and by the way, not all of this is canon. I'm talking more of what her people would say. Assisted in pushing the essentially walking away the Crawling King. A trap of some sort she was creating, I believe.
And that's why you worship her?
That is why my people give her reverence, yes, as a whole.
What about you?
Me?
Why do you?
Now that's a more complicated question. When I was first, I suppose you could say, ordered to worship the Sehanine, I knew the words to say, I knew the rituals. My father is one of the head priests. But it was the motion work. It was, this is what you have to do, this is what you ought to do, this is what is expected of you.
I know how that is.
And, I didn't exactly have any hatred for her, but,
But you didn't believe it. You didn't mean it.
I suppose. There was no connection.
Right.
But that's changed recently. For me, I suppose what changed is how the story I told you of how Luster came back to me. I was accosted. It was stupid, but I was accosted by a group of coyotes and thought I was a goner before I even began my journey from the Oracle. And right from the heavens in the full moon, Luster came down. And, that changed some things for me.
She gave you Luster back.
Yes. But you say that as if it's because she bribed me, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Is that not it?
She shakes her head. If she wanted to bribe me, she could have given me 10,000 gold. She could have given me the world's most powerful bow to strike all of my foes in a single hit.
Would you
Goodness,
have
she could
cared
have.
about those things?
Goodness, she could have given me a dragon. You don't. You need to understand Luster's importance. He's not just a wolf I had. When Luster died, do you know what my father said to me?
No.
He said, maybe this time you'll pick a better one. One that can actually hunt. And it wasn't just him. No one understood what he was to me. No one understood the importance that he had in my life. Everyone, in some ways, thought I was crazy. Gave me a lone wolf moniker for it. She did. She understood me more than my own family did. And I realized that if she had taken that much time to understand me, then maybe I should take some time to understand who she is.
And if Luster was taken away from you, would you still worship? Would you still believe?
I want to know why.
We don't always get those answers.
Maybe not, but why should I stop trying?
Hmm.
I think you see it, and I understand why, that the relationship between a person and a deity is just one of, I give you reverence, you give me gifts. But
That is what it is.
I don't think so. Once I stopped thinking of it that way, it made sense. It's a relationship. It's as much as they have taken time to understand me, well, I should take time to understand them.
They do what suits them. Nothing more, nothing less.
Why are you so angry?
Here the gods sit behind a wall and watch. They recognized at some point that they were a blight on this world, that the world would be better off without them. Maybe they do, I don't know. I don't think they realize how right they are. That is not what it is like in my world.
What is it like in your world?
As I say, gods do as they will. They do what suits them. And as long as you suit them, they will help you. And when you do not, they will not any longer.
I cannot speak of your gods in your world. And if you are thinking that I'm going to convince you to find one here, you are sorely mistaken.
I'm just trying to understand. There is a god here who has... Her story interests me. I don't care for what she is or what she represents, but I come from a world where a lot of the time all we have is our stories. That's all that keeps us going. And hers is a good one, with a good message.
What do you like about her story?
It has nothing to do with her. It is only about what you can do for others, about forging your path. That is what I like about it.
Well, then it's just a story, right? If you want to keep it that way, make it just a nice story, that's fine. But if you wish to know why she told that story, that's different.
And what? I am I am to believe that the divinities of this world do things for people for no other reason than to do good. I am to believe that someone is capable of that.
Are you not? Are you not capable of doing that yourself? In your thoughts, a god is no different than selfish man. What's to say that they're also no different than the best of us?
She gets really, really quiet at that and just looks away. She keeps walking.
Owned.
That's a good point.
In fact, you hear Light in your head just kind of chuckle a bit.
I'm sorry.
She gives a glance up.
Something wrong? I'm sorry if I pushed a little too hard. I want you to know that it's perfectly fine for you to not worship a god if you do not want to. But please don't question mine.
No, I do apologize. I don't mean to question. I only prayed once in my life and meant it. I have prayed many, many times. My father is a paladin of Timora, and I was not spared his pious nature. But
Sounds familiar.
yeah. Oh. The only time I ever prayed was to Timora when I was 5. And I was answered with silence. I will think on what you said.
There is no rush in any of this, but I find it interesting that someone not of this world who is here gains an interest in a power without having had requested anything of you at this point.
Indeed. This world does not have gods like mine does. And all I can think as I look around is look how much better it is. And she keeps walking.
She's gonna kind of try to match your stride and look kind of concerned.
So whatever it is that you want to pick up supplies-wise, just kind of drop in the Roll20 chat. I'll let you know how much.
Yeah, it's
costs
just like
you.
food and stuff.
I
unless
mentioned
there's-
it. I mentioned to you in a message earlier this week.
If
Is that
you don't
cool?
mind just
Cool
dropping
fine?
it in there again, and I'll
Yeah,
let you
grab it for you.
know what it is.
Is there anything I'm missing besides like foodstuffs?
Potions.
I think Kieran's gonna be going to a magic shop for that. I keep forgetting to make my potions. I have.
Where would everyone else like to go? So Roz, Maeve, and Leo are kind of off doing their thing. Leaf, Kieran, Hermia, what would you like to do? If anything.
I'm going to the magic shop.
You want to go to the magic shop? I know
Yeah, I'll
Maeve
follow
went
the magic
last time. Was anybody with you, Maeve?
Hermia was.
Hermia was. Okay.
She didn't buy anything.
Yep.
Only I did. I spent all the gold.
Yeah. So we'll say then that Kieran mentions wanting to go to a magic shop. I'm sure Leaf is with you, and
I'll go.
you take Hermia along with you since she knows where to go. And with that, she takes you to the Mosaic Ward, back in the direction of the Shimmer Ward. It's not quite in the Shimmer Ward, but takes you to a rather large-looking shop called Illuminations and Machinations. And when you head inside, you are immediately greeted by a elven woman. You also notice sort of back further in the store talking to some of the customers, an almost identical... an identical looking brother to hers, but as you enter, she goes, "Welcome to Illuminations and Machinations." She recognizes Hermia. "I'm so sorry, I forgot your name, but you were in here last time with the Pallid Elf. Forgive me. Your name was
Hermia.
Hermia. I'm not sure if I got it last time. If I did, my deepest apologies, but welcome. And your friends, including an Autumn." She kind of looks at you for a moment, Kieran, and then immediately attention is drawn to Leaf. An automaton is he yours? Do you mind if could I? And she kind of walks up and just kind of starts to like run her hands across your like arms, Leaf, and across your face. This is immaculate craftsmanship here. I have to ask, who created this for you?
This one has been created by Dr. Fernelius.
And it talks as well. That is most impressive. I'm not familiar with a Dr. Fernelius. Kind of looks to you, Hermia, and Kieran for like answers. Where is this Dr. Fernelius from?
We don't know, but he's a he, not an it. He's his own person. Don't touch him like that. Thank you.
Oh, the automaton. I'm so sorry. That is. You're right. That was very rude of me, and I do apologize. Does he have a name?
This one is known as lichen echolyptic amplification of fauna and flora, or leaf, which is known as the R66Y.
Well, it is nice to meet you, Leaf. What could I help you with today?
Well, I look to the two of them. For myself, but I think we need some potions and stuff, right? Trying to help the group. Yeah.
I
what
believe we
potions you got?
just refreshed our potion stock. Are you looking for anything, to spice it up? Anything interesting, or are you just looking for curative potion?
Cure, yes.
All right, well, let me show you what we have really quick. And she goes behind the desk and opens up a cabinet back there. With the wave of her hand, you sort of see little sort of flashes of light, and she brings up a tray that has 6 vials in it. We, of course, have your standard healing potions, which will be 60 gold each. We have 6 of those. And then I also have 2 greater and a superior as well.
How much for those?
Let me find out. Always forget magic item prices. Always feel like I have such a hard time finding them. Finding the table.
As an aside to Leaf and Hermia, do we want to cash out big for the fancy ones?
Depends on how much they are.
Yeah.
Need to no, why do you not just take me to freaking magic items? Why do you just take me to forum posts?
This is the thing you forgot, Robbie. You didn't prepare this.
I, for some reason, never remember to, when I look this up, to just bookmark it somewhere. Buying a magic item. All right, hold on. I think this is it. Oh. I would not be under buying a magic item.
You don't need to know that.
Right, yeah. Why would you not put the price? Okay, here we go. All right, so the graters are 210 gold each, and the superior would be 2,000.
Just the the standard, please.
And how many would you like?
I look to the rest of them. Just 2? Is that
No,
okay? No?
I think we need more.
More? How much more?
Well,
I don't
for
know.
the 6 of them, it would be 360 gold.
Let's.
Did they give us money?
No, they didn't give us
We'll
money.
assume that you
I was
have
gonna say-
access to the party funds.
Yeah,
Okay, they
it's-
did give us money.
It's like a bank, but please don't go crazy.
Going
Let's
crazy.
start with 3? Is that fair?
Is that?
You're asking me?
No, I mean I don't know how much money we have.
Guys, it's in our you guys all should have access to it. It's in the party
have
list.
3,054 gold pieces.
Oh my god, we can spend.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
get 4.
Who
Let's get
spiffed
4.
up this party
Oh,
loot? Oh my gosh,
I
this looks
did.
great. That's
It
amazing.
looks
I
amazing.
did. It's just easier for me to organize
Yeah,
it, so
no,
I knew
for
what was going on.
sure.
Let's
I-
get 4. I
Hermia,
think
keep in
we
mind,
have-
you still have, I don't know if we added those into your thing or not, but you have the Melazimir prayer beads.
Oh,
What?
jeez.
Holy
Is everyone
shit.
okay?
Ow!
I don't know.
You okay?
Chester, are you all right?
I
Oh,
didn't
no.
hear what you said.
I'm
Is
just
that
gonna
birdie or a cat?
A cat.
I'm gonna put something in the chat here for you real quick, Hermia, in case you want to add them to your D&D Beyond, in case you didn't. You have those from back in Bise Tile, so if you want to add those in there, you basically can use Cure Wounds, I think is what it...
It does a lot.
When
of
did we
things.
get these? I don't remember
back
this.
in Bise Tile!
It was a while ago. It was
Yeah.
when we got the roses too.
Yep.
Oh, well, they didn't give them to me.
We
did.
did. Yep.
Oh, you
100%
did?
Yep.
Yeah, we
It
did.
was probably in Discord
to
and you
sleep?
didn't pay attention. Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
Either
fine.
way, you have it.
I think we'll take all 6 of just the standard.
All right, all 6 it is then. So subtract 360 gold from your total, and you have 6 potions of healing.
Do you guys need me to do that?
Yes.
Thank you, treasurer.
I'm heavy.
Oh boy. 360, is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna use a calculator so I do it accurately.
And I was gonna look for another thing so you guys can browse if you want to.
What is it
So
that
in-
we could help you find today?
Well, and I kind of pull it to the side. So I'm more of the more Lockean persuasion. I'm a good guy though, don't worry. And I'm looking for items that kind of suit that better, if that makes sense.
So you have a extra planar pact with a being beyond your understanding.
No. We're good pals, don't worry. But
So you can
yeah,
you
it's
can
just
use magic,
yeah,
and you would like
I
to
can use
be
magic.
better at using magic.
Yeah. Like I don't need a spell book or anything like that. I'm not good at, writing or whatever and reading that stuff.
Let me see. May have something up your alley. And she kind of picks up this large book from the main desk as you walk in, and sort of begins to thumb through it. Here we go. And takes you by the hand, begins to lead you further into the shop and sort of up the stairs to a second floor, and takes you over to this large display case that she opens up, and she takes out of it a small rod, about maybe 6-7 inches long. And it's made of like a silvery sort of material. It has a clear sort of crystal ball, almost marble, more apt, up on the top of it. Some arcane runes and symbols kind of etched in down the shaft, and she turns towards you and goes, "This here is called a Rod of the Pact Keeper, and it should make your spells and magic give them a little bit more oomph. This, if attuned, you get a bonus to spell attacks and saving throw DCs of your warlock spells. It will increase them by +1. In addition, you regain one warlock spell slot as an action while holding the rod. So once per day, you can basically use it to immediately regain a spell slot.
Jesus.
I want it.
It's really cool.
Somewhere Evelyn is salivating.
20,000 gold.
How much would this be?
2,500.
Oh,
I could knock 100 off since you've already bought the potions.
Okay.
Buy it.
No. I'm just kidding.
Did you say I'll take it?
What?
No. So,
Do it.
so here's the thing. Okay. So,
Oh boy.
as a magic shop owner,
Mm-hmm.
clerk, whatever your title may be, I'm sure that
You
you're
can call me Luna.
Luna. Okay, yeah. So Luna, I'm sure that you already know that your biggest clientele is often adventurers, right? And so me and my crew, the Second Chances, don't forget the name. We're very much, we're the new up and comers. We're a little bit of the dark horses, and you'll be hearing our names across Exandria. I bet you will. So, if I cut you a deal, because we kind of travel past through here quite a bit, if I give you the coin in my pocket now, and then to pay back later every time we come by.
You gotta set up credit.
You're trying to lay away this? This is
So
awesome.
you're cutting me a deal by just giving me whatever coin you have in your pockets.
And then I'll give you more, and you'll have good business, because the rest
Make
of
a
us,
wisdom
there's
saving
other
throw.
magic. There's other magic.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
I finished my stuff.
Oh god. You're gonna give away all our money, aren't you?
Use my inspiration. That's a natural one. So 7 total.
For a 7 total. How much money do you have in your pocket?
Yeah.
As you feel
Uh,
something push deeper into your mind.
No.
656.
Oh, 656. All right, make a persuasion check.
Oh god. Oh, I can't see it. 21.
All right, little warlock. Let me match your deal. This is how haggling works.
Okay.
I will give you this rod for 2,000 gold,
Okay.
and if I don't hear your name on the Winds of Whispers within a month, we'll say, then I'm going to track you down wherever you are, and we're going to have a little chat about how you can pay back the rest. Does that sound fair?
So, 2,000 is the total. I'll give you what I have now, and then I pay you back. Is that what you mean?
No, 2,000.
I pay you
I
2,000
saw the
now.
coin purse that Hermia paid out of, and it seems it has a bit of heft to it, so if you really want this rod, I believe you have the means. And again, with a band of adventurers as illustrious as the Second Chances, I'm sure that gold, riches, and treasure is going to be just pouring in.
I'm going to say this to both Hermia and Leaf. If I took, say, 2 grand out of the party total,
Now,
do you
technically,
think-
you would only need 1,400 because you have 600 of your own.
yes, if I took a lot of money out of the bag, do you think Maeve would kill me?
She's given what Maeve spent last time she was in here.
I was
I'd
gonna
like to
say,
see her
last
have-
time
have a
Maeve was
leg
in
to
here,
stand
I-
on.
I think it
No,
was
it's probably-
2,000 or something, yeah.
I
2,000 or
don't think
so.
it was
1,200 it was.
Oh, 1,200? Okay.
Yeah, I
1,200.
was gonna say it wasn't 2,000. I wouldn't have done it for because it was not even quite. It wasn't quite half the gold we had.
Okay, fair enough then.
Yeah, it wasn't quite half because that was my sticking
Yeah,
point.
so I would say, Hermia, you know that the last time you were in here, Maeve spent 1,200.
yeah, so
So you're probably fine. This one
As a player, will
believes
everyone be
that-
mad at me?
I think it's fine. We're just gonna need to be. I mean, we're gonna have less than I think 1,000 left. If you or no, we're gonna have 1,200 left if you do that. If you're paying from yourself, right? Because it's 1,400, then you're paying 600.
The rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, so we got 2,600 right now. So we'd have 1,200 left. So as long as we got nothing big, it is what it is.
This one
That's
believes
enough to get
that
someone
money
raised,
is
so.
a resource to acquire things, and the more items we have, the stronger we will be able to accumulate more wealth. Therefore,
and it gives
this
you
is
a
a sound
whole
investment.
new spell slot.
I say like that's so good for a warlock.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I was going when it was 2,000 taken from the thing, because then we'd have like 600 left. But you know,
I have 2
1,400 's a
warlock
lot
characters
easier.
who are crying for this thing.
So I think it's fine. If you're willing to pay some of your own stuff, then we'd still have 1,200. 1,200 left.
You
Yeah,
know
mine
what,
was not
Luna?
2,000. I remember I did not pay for the thing. I was 2,000. That was
I
different.
suddenly feel threatened for my life, like someone's gonna punch me out of nowhere.
Punch you?
So,
What? I just said it was fine.
no,
in the
Ross
chat.
is gonna punch me if I don't take this deal. So,
Oh, that's what you mean. I was very confused.
you know what? Yes, I will take this deal, and you will hear our name, and you will feel so proud and so lucky to have discovered us in this way. So, you're welcome, and thank you.
Well, right this way, and she puts her arm around your shoulder and leads you back downstairs. So go ahead
Does she
and
do anything shifty when
Nope.
she puts her arm around me? No?
You did feel, though, when you had mentioned I'll give you everything in my pocket, you did feel her push into your mind. She used detect thoughts on you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you head downstairs, you pay up in whatever, 2,000 accumulated out of whosever pockets you decide to take it from. And you now have a Rod of the Pact Keeper +1. Should be able to add on D&D
Thank
Beyond.
you guys. I'm sorry.
So
It's fine.
good.
Just subtract it from the party loot.
Yep.
Everyone has access.
All right. Hermia or Leaf, did you want to look for anything?
No, I'm
All
good.
good.
Okay.
Faces.
It's fine.
All right. So
What can I
unless,
get for 600 gold?
unless there was anything else anybody wanted to do out and about in Rexentrim, I assume you eventually make your way back to the Flounder Pounder.
Yep.
I only that apparently Roz is getting a bunch of stuff that we're not on the group list, so I am definitely wondering what she's doing.
Oh yes, did you guys did you
Yeah,
drop
I put my
it
stuff in there.
Yeah, I got
wanna see.
confused, so mine's not very specific. It really is just restocking food stuff and water skins.
Okay, I'm not gonna worry
and
about
things
making
like
you kind of do for or necessarily
Yeah.
roll for that or anything. So we'll say Roz, do 5 gold for like the medicine, the medicinal type stuff.
Yep. And how much
And
for the
that's fine.
carpentry thing we talked about?
We'll say another 5 gold.
Let me go ahead and subtract
It
that.
kind of takes you a few hours. He has you kind of stick around so that because you want to observe in
She wanted to
hopes that
observe it,
in the
yep.
future you might be able to. But it's something that really really easy. You'll be able to IKEA it together out on the road.
She glances over at Maeve.
That's a lot of things. I am getting water skins and food for us.
They're not for us. Sometimes when we would travel between places, my world is hard to travel on foot. You usually teleport from city to city, but part of our charter is to try to make some of the parts of Torres livable again. So we do travel some of the, road is probably a generous term for it, but occasionally we would set up little caches, say, so that if another person came along and needed water or medicine or food, they could take something. So when we leave for Zadash, there was a big crossroad that we passed where like 5 different roads converged. I'm gonna set up she winces at the word, a shrine there. I think it is in line with Avandra's teachings and in line with what I would do back home, so I'm not going to put her name or her symbol on it because, well, it would be illegal and, well, supposedly if she is doing things for the greater good and not for her own glory, then she won't care.
Who do you want people to thank when they see these things?
She motions to a sentence that she had inscribed on it that just says, take what you need and leave what you can.
Hmm.
They don't have to thank anybody. Just leave what they can for the next person who might need something.
Very well. Acts of service it is.
Perhaps. And she slings all this stuff over a shoulder and starts hauling it along.
Do you need help with that?
Nah, I got it.
Hmm.
Back home, Urgoth can make these, but I guess I probably should have paid more attention as to how he did. He was quite good with them.
Well, once again, would you like help with that?
Oh, carrying it? No, I'm fine.
No, I mean in general.
Obviously wherever I find a crossroads, or if there's a spot that has where we've gone a long time without somewhere, a lake or a river, somewhere where people might be desperate for water or food or medicine, I'll try to set one up. I don't know. Maybe people will follow it and do it, or maybe they'll destroy them. But if they do that, that's between them and Avandra at that point.
It's a lovely idea for what it's worth. And
thank you.
Once again, you have people who are more than willing to help you set something like this up. Unless you feel that you must do this by yourself for some reason.
No. It is as good a cause as any. I would have the others help me if I were back home. If you are all willing to do something like this or help me set something like this up, I would appreciate it.
She frowns a little. That's why I ask. I can't help but notice sometimes that here you tend to, at times, not all the time, shoulder things yourself when you would not back home.
Perhaps.
Is that a permanent thing of not wanting to get attached? Or is there something that maybe time will help with?
Well, I fear we've already failed on that first account. I've grown to like all of you, despite my best attempts. She laughs. I am doing my best to be better about that. When I first was here, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who I could trust. I couldn't talk to Saris. And that was really scary. And I struggled to do much of anything besides what I knew how to do. I am getting there.
Well, if you ever wish to talk about your times back home, and if you ever wish to know about mine, I am willing to sit with you. Or is that too much?
It's not too much, Maeve. Sometimes it's painful to talk about home.
That makes sense to me. I'm only trying to be careful, as I know sometimes the way I come across people, it seems my intentions are seen as something else. So I'm trying to be more wary of that, especially for you. But
you don't need to worry about that, Maeve.
Okay.
I am glad to be in a group with you. You are quite clever and brave, and you have a very cool dragon.
He does rather steal the show, I will say.
Wow.
Brave and clever. That's certainly not words I would have ever associated with myself, but that's kind of you.
Well, shall we return to the Flounder Pounder with our wares and see how the others did?
Yes, hopefully not spending all the money. I had given them the primary source of it, so I'll be curious to see what
Suddenly
happens.
Maeve, you realize that, you gave the party purse to Leaf,
Ooh, I
Kieran,
gave it to
and
Kieran
Hermia.
Hermia. I look at Roz. That may have not. I was heard they're going to the magic shop.
You've never seen a pallid elf's face go flush, like
Yeah.
go pale, but it does.
Let's go with
So
pale.
upon that revelation that you gave the purse to Leaf, Kieran, and Hermia, she goes, "Well, you're brave anyway," and she starts walking with you back to the Flounder
She
Pounder.
winces, yes, and your words ever are true. Getting rid of the word kind.
All right, so as you head back, was there anything else anybody wanted to do before you wrap up this day? I don't know, Leo, did you want to visit your sister? Kieran, did you want to go try and talk to Zana?
Yeah, I wanted to say a quick thing to Leaf.
Oh, of course, go for it.
Yeah. Hey, Leaf, can I talk to you for a quick second?
Of course, friend Kieran.
Are you doing this away from Hermia?
Wow.
Just wondering.
Come on. No, she's there. I'm like, okay, I'll say this in front of both of you, because I don't want to be rude. I just wanted to say that it was really fun being with you guys as Kieran the card, and I have to go talk to Zana about some things, but I don't think I'm going to come back as I am. So, I give them both a hug. Leaf,
Where are you
you're
going?
my best friend. I just have to go talk to Zana about a thing. And then I kind of pull them into an alleyway, like, I just never met anyone like me, and as much as, yes, sometimes she does get under my skin, she's helped me a little bit, even in ways that maybe I don't like. But I need some kind of, like, source, I guess, about, I don't know, what I am. Does that make sense?
This one supports you in any endeavors that you are in trying to do. If this is a finding yourself scenario, then this one will assist in any way it can.
Thanks, bud. You're my
You
best
are
friend.
welcome, best friend Kieran.
I'll tell you everything, I promise. They're just not as fun as my usual stories, though. So, and Hermia, thank you. It's nice to know, too, that someone of royalty and wielding a badass weapon can...
I'm not
I don't know.
royalty, but I appreciate the sentiment.
You are in my eyes, Hermia. Well, that's all. I gotta go do that thing now, and just tell everyone I'll be back. I promise I'll be back. I won't be Kieran the card anymore.
One moment, best friend Kieran. And Leaf is going to reach into its cloak and produce a card that Leaf bought a long time ago but didn't ever actually add to its inventory. Mr. DM Robbie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, you can tell me what card that was.
Oh, you're talking about the one that you bought off of...
That really awesome NPC?
Yeah, I mean, do you remember who you decided. I think you bought. Didn't you buy the Keyleth one?
Yes,
I think you bought the
You
Keyleth
did
one.
not.
I did.
All right, so
And
second
Leaf
here.
produces a card that has really cool arts of a druid, and says,
Yeah, he hands it to you, and it says at the top Keyleth, and at the bottom Voice of the Tempest, and you see this large white tree that is in complete full bloom, leaves and flowers and everything on it, and underneath it is a druid with sort of like this antler type thing coming off, wielding this large, intricate looking staff with, she has fiery red hair.
Is this for me?
yes, this one wanted to produce a gift for you when the time was correct. This one's logic receptors indicate that this is the correct time.
Kieran just starts bawling.
Warning, you are currently leaking.
I am leaking. Thank you. No one's ever given me a gift like this before. Kieran just hugs Leaf.
Aw. Leaf gives a very robotic hug,
A little tight, buddy.
and then also
Oh.
motions for Hermia to join in said hug.
I joined in the hug.
Yay.
Good, because if you didn't, I was going to thorn whip you into
No, not the thorn web.
Ah, what?
It hurts.
All right, so with that, Leaf and Hermia head back to the Flounder Pounder, and Kieran head off towards Zana's. You head back up into the Shimmer Ward to Zenithal's manor.
Oh, by the way, I wild shape into a spider and stealthily hide in Kieran's pocket.
Do you?
Nah, just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You
man.
can. I'm not. I probably would not be looking because I'm like, Leaf is such a good friend.
Yeah.
No,
He'd never
I would.
betray me. Never
I
betray my
wouldn't
trust.
do that. Well, I mean, I would do that, but no, not in this instance.
All right, so Kieran, you head up to the door. Doesn't seem to be anybody outside. The gate is actually, is unlocked and swung open. No guards or anything that you can see.
Are there any flowers nearby?
Yeah, there's lots of flowers.
I just rip out of the ground.
Just rip them out of the ground. How many?
Yep.
Like a
Oh.
bouquet?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
Knock on the door.
Yep.
All right. You hear it echo on the inside, and what seems like an eternity passes before the door finally begins to creak open. And on the other side, you see a old gentleman in what looks to be like, butler sort of attire. He just kind of looks down at you. Yes.
Is Miss Zana here?
Is she expecting you?
No. Shit. And then I, in my head, hey Zana, it's me, Kieran. Are you here?
You hear back. Yes. And I assume you are as well. And the old man asks you, does she know, are you an acquaintance of hers?
Yes, we're very close.
Give me a moment. Shuts the door. Where are you?
At the front door?
Oh. Why?
I wanted to talk to you.
All right. And you're just gonna stand there awkwardly for like, 5 minutes before the door opens back up, and you see standing there Mira's form.
So I trip and I land on one knee and I raise the flowers. These are for you.
She looks over to the left. Yeah. All right. And she takes them and just kind of places them inside somewhere that you can't see. Well,
Stand up, just pat myself. Could we talk some more private?
You hear in your head, what's this about?
Well, so we did a lot today as a party, and we didn't get sidetracked, which I was very proud of us because it was very hard for me personally. But we got everything done, and it seems like we're gonna be moving a lot again. And um, I just didn't think that we'd be leaving so soon, but we are. And I just thought that kind of sucked because that would mean that I'm away from you, your master, Xanatol.
She says out loud, you have a sending stone to talk to him anytime you want to.
Yeah, but it's different, you know. Mm. Look, I just. Okay. Is there anyone around? No one's around.
Not that you can see.
Turn into my changeling. Sorry, I'm very nervous, and you owe me nothing. You've already helped us a lot, but I wanted to ask if you would come along.
Wait here. And she shuts the door. And about 15 minutes go by. 20 minutes go by. You can change back into another form in this time if you'd like to.
I turn back into Kieran and I just start sniffling.
Yep, but then eventually you hear the door
I'll go
open
tell Ross.
behind you. And Zana steps out, still in mirror form, but not wearing... Before, when she'd opened up, she was still sort of in, like, her usual, like, adventuring kind of stuff. She steps out now, though, wearing just sort of, like, casual clothes. Come on, and just, like, walks by you. Follow me.
Okay. Try to keep peace.
And she just takes you sort of around the Shimmer Ward and finds a little sort of, like, park area. Sits down in front of a sort of small arrangement of flowers and goes, don't touch them.
Okay.
Why do you want me to come with you? And just so you know, you're not a good liar. I can tell when you are.
I'm a great liar.
You're not.
It's just with
You're
you guys.
not.
I
No.
am. I just don't know why when I'm with you guys. I just can't help but be honest. I used to be the best darn liar in my town. But whatever. I don't know what to do anymore now that people know. And not just any people, but people that I care about and people that I'm actually staying with. Like, I don't have to hide from these people. I don't have to hide from you. And I don't know what to do with that. Because I look at my hands.
Besides
I
that
don't-
man in your card box, no one else has ever... You haven't told anyone else?
No.
What about the boy? And she kind of points to your form.
He knew.
Tell him?
Yeah.
And what did he think?
He thought it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. But
That why you take his form, then? He meant something to you?
he did. Once upon a time.
Mira obviously meant something to me as well. The other form that you saw me in, the ASMR. Her name was Aurora. She was the first person that I ever told. And like Mira, she helped me to find a part of myself. Kieran. Who we are is... It's hard for us because we put on facets of who we are, unlike other people, but it's not that different. You know, when Roz charges into battle, she does so as her Uncle Levix. When she tries to flirt, she does so as her Aunt Des. It's no different than what we do. We can just actually become those people.
Do it.
I used to be where you were before as well, but I once, for a while, had met a changeling way older than I was, from the Feywild, and he told me a bit about what it's like there, our culture, and to take on the appearance like you do for this boy, or like I do for Aurora and Mira, because they were important. So in my case, they're not around anymore. It's how I keep them around. And they're as much a part of me now as Rosalind's family is of hers. Right now, this is me. It's all that's left of Mira as well, but it's the same thing. Now, I can't help you feel better around them, but they put up with you as Kieran, and they're still putting up with you now, so you don't have to change. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
But this is still you. It's still a part of you.
Right. I just don't think that me, as charming and handsome as I am,
You're not.
I am super handsome, first of all. Respect the dead, okay? Like you said, carrying all those folks with us, okay? I think I need to grow up a little bit. I don't think you would disagree.
It's for you to figure out. But Kieran will always be a part of you.
Yeah. So, is that a yes or a no?
To what?
Coming with us.
She lets out a long, drawn-out sigh.
Oh, come on.
Make a
Don't you
persuasion
want to
check.
see my growth? My development? And then you can even say to us, see, oh, just because that was me, that was my work. Oh, my.
Make a persuasion check.
Get it, Kieran.
22.
There you go.
That was performance.
Oh, shit.
It's
I
the
think
same.
it's the same.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's probably the same, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, but it's the same.
When are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
If I'm not there, you'll have my answer. Stands up and walks away. Leo,
Yes, sir.
you going to check on your sister.
Yep.
So you head into the Mosaic Ward to your new place. And as you get there and you ascend up the stairs outside, you get up and notice that the door is ajar. That the frame has been smashed in.
I frantically run in.
Throwing aside all concern for safety or what could possibly be in there, you throw open the door to your place, and inside it is trashed. Everything has been thrown around. Drawers, cupboards have been pulled apart. You head to your sister's room. The bed has been tossed. Everything is just a complete mess. You look into Triv's room, you look into your room, the boxes, everything that was packed up, completely thrown around. Sign of your sister. That's where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh, where is she?